So what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed Palm Sunday. You missed a parade. Lots of parading music. Lots of waving of palms, shouting, rhythm instruments, noise, and we spent some time talking about this parade. This parade that will lead us to Good Friday and will take us ultimately to Easter. But in this moment there is joy, even though there's fear, because they kind of know where they're going. Jesus knows what comes next, and we recognize today that we're all part of parades that excite us, and we're glad to be included, and yet they fill us with dread sometimes. We're afraid of what comes next. So we spent some time with that today. We shared Psalm 118. We imagined that we could be part of this parade, and that when we join in this kind of parade, all of us are walking away from something. We're running away. We're crawling away. And so we talked about that a little bit. We wondered about that. And in fact, we had paper palm branches, and we wrote on the branches what things we were running away from. Fear, judgment, bad relationship, an uncaring world. We wrote those things down. And then we also talked about the things that we're running toward as we join any parade, as we join the Palm Sunday parade, as we enter into Holy Week, as we come into community, as we become part of the church, as we are people of faith. What are we walking toward, or running toward, or crawling toward? And we talked about that a little bit too. We flipped our palm leaves over and we wrote down the things that we are going toward, running toward. We talked of fear and grief, and we talked of wholeness and hope. We talked of love and understanding. And then we laid all of those palms down on the floor, down the center aisle of the church, and we all came up that center aisle to the communion table, where we shared in a table. A table that is there for those who are running away and running toward. A table that is big enough for all of creation, and yet small enough that we can fit it in the room and imagine it in our heads and come toward it without fear. And so we did, and we recognized as we came to that table, as we walked over the many things that we are running from or running toward, that we are all running from different things, and we are all running toward different things, and yet somehow those things all come together in faith. They all meet at the table. And so we shared the table, the way Jesus taught it, the way tradition has shaped it, the way we are invited to share it. We recognized our gifts, each of us, and our responsibility to the people that we meet on the road as we are this parade, as we travel away or toward, or as we do both at the same time, that some of us have gifts that will allow, that we can share and allow some of us to stop spinning and find direction, to get up and walk a little faster than crawling, and remind us that on this journey none of us are alone. And we need that going into Holy Week. We need to know that we are not alone, that this isn't just some strange play we put on, that in fact our faith, the rituals of our faith, have meaning. We don't need to argue history or the value of tradition. We simply recognize the truth of the story, that all of us run away from and toward at the same time, that we move together, that as we get closer to that to which we aspire, as we move towards wholeness, we find ourselves getting closer to God, and that path inevitably leads us together to and through Good Friday, to and through Easter. That is the truth of our lives. That's the parade that we're in. And that's what we did today. We acknowledged the parade that we are in. We looked around at those people with us, and we promised to keep traveling. So, we missed you today. But think about the parade that you're in, where you've been, where you're going, what you leave behind, what you move toward. Think about that this week, and you'll have done some of the work that we did today. And hopefully you'll be able to join us soon, because we would love to be traveling right on the very road with you. The sooner we see you, the better. But until we do, God bless.